What up, y'all? It is Alex here, and we are going to run through Emmanual Top's acid phase. This is going to be one of our most straightforward breakdowns I think we've probably ever had. Before, I want to make a quick announcement. Again, check out my Patreon if you've been enjoying these videos and if you want access to track feedback and some samples and some other good stuff that's coming in the future. Yeah, you can check that out in the description. I'd really appreciate it if you give that a look. That helps me make more videos. But let's go ahead and jump into this. So we're immediately going to start off with the kick and some percussion. Just a 4 on the floor kick, we're at about 135, some 16th note hat pattern, and then an offbeat on the hat. Now just as a note, we're going to go through this video pretty fast because basically if you've watched this channel, everything I'm going to go over here we've already gone over, and I feel like the way that this track is constructed is so by the books in a way. So I don't want to overdo too much time. But okay, just notice how we're going to have the drums starting us off. We're going to drop off this kick at the end of an 8-bar loop, very common trick, to again set us in for the next 8-bar loop. So we just have an offbeat bass, and we're going to keep that going for, I think, another 8 bars. So very simple. So we have 8 bars with the acid line rising, and then at this point I think it's mostly at full volume. It might still be rising a little bit, but basically we have about 8/16 bars of the acid line rising, and then we're going to get a little drop out of the kick again, and then we're going to add a little high frequency hat. High frequency offbeat. So just notice the offbeat's getting louder. So we have a lot of things going on with the offbeat. We have that initial offbeat, the offbeat bass, and then the offbeat additional hat. But yeah, very simple so far. Only melodic component is this offbeat bass, and then the acid line, which are not playing. The bass is just playing one note, and the acid line is just playing one note as well, just twice. Okay, so real quick note, I thought this track was interesting because there's so little going on in the sense of drum fills, and at least compared to some of the other older tracks we've done, there doesn't seem to be as much spontaneity in the sense of the arrangement. And when we were going over some Drexciya tracks, and I think we just did Amphetamine, sometimes you're having things come in and out. I don't remember as much as Amphetamine, but at least in a lot of Drexciya tracks, the elements come in and out in a more free-flowing manner. This one is very much 8 bars, 8 bars, 8 bars, and there's not really any advanced drum fills happening. All we have is this drop out of the kick, and then we have it here too. So nothing too crazy, it's just very straightforward. Once again, yeah, I guess this is 16 bars with this acid line rising up, and then we have a another 8 bars, then sort of like another 16 bars, because now I get this, what I'm calling a ride wave. It sounds like it's a bunch of rides. That's being used to be like a crescendo sort of thing, almost like a white noise sweep. Now, we've like gone through our first build up, so I'm gonna make this section yellow, because that yellow denotes that we're building up an energy. Now we have a breakdown. Whoops. Which I'm gonna note with red, because red means stop. So now the energy is very much like we're at a breakdown. You know, it's gonna be very chill. We're just kind of gonna be introduced to this new melody. Okay, now we're cruising. So I'm gonna make this section green, because now we're like full on into the groove. Okay. Now you're gonna notice the rest of the track, we're just gonna be like all the elements, I guess besides, yeah, no, I think at this point all the elements of the track have already been introduced. Like we're already almost like gonna be done with the track, because after this groove, we only have a little bit more left. So yeah, this just shows the power of a good loop here and what you can do with it. And I actually got the MIDI more or less correct this time. Usually I just map it out really quick just so I can talk about the arrangement, but if you do want this project file, you can email me at wilcox.alex@me.com. And yeah, this time I actually got the notes correct, because honestly this was so easy and I was like, I might as well just do it. But okay, so now we're in a full-on groove where we have the crazy synth with the acid line, offbeat bass, like basically everything else. I couldn't tell if this fidget thingy was still here because so much is going on, that being those like 16 notes at the beginning. But yeah, we're now just full on. Alright, now we're going into another cooldown section. And I'm just going to speed this up because honestly, if y'all have watched this channel, you really should know what's going on here. So watch, they're just going to have this synth fallout. Okay, that was done with the volume, most likely. I think that's what it sounds like. Sounds like I just dropped the volume down. Maybe they did some cutoff filter too. But yeah, so now we're basically gearing up for a second round of build. You've probably heard this before if you're into techno production. It's just lots of rising and falling. I mean, that's kind of the case with many types of music, how we're just building, building, building. Then we're going into a groove. I know I just skipped over this red section. That's because you could argue this is still like part of like the tension build-up. Because at this point you're like, you probably know, oh wow, like there's no drums, something's gonna happen. I just wanted to make it red to signify a breakdown, which, you know, I just view it as a little differently than this build up, but you can kind of view it similarly in the sense that we're building up here, we're gaining tension, and while the breakdown might, you could say it relieves tension, but because like now all the drums are gone, so now you're just listening and it's kind of more in your headspace, but at the same time you also know something's coming, so I'll let you make the ultimate decision there. I just wanted to make it red just for the sake of showing you how the song is arranged. I thought that might be a little easier. So now we're going to have this yellow section, which is another build up, and then by the time we get to the green over here, we're just going to groove again, and then the song's going to end. So I know if you're watching this, you're like, oh wow, that wasn't very detailed. Usually you go into more detail. But like I said, y'all should know how this works at this point. And if this is your first time watching, then there's plenty of other videos you can check out that go into a little bit more detail. But essentially, I think the cool takeaway of this song is just know what you can do with a good loop. I mean, this song is very simple in certain ways. We just have the crazy synth, we have the offbeat bass, and then we have that simple acid line. These notes should all be the same, by the way. They're a little different. But and so I'd rather just show you this quick macro, which is here's an easy template to make a techno track. Build up, breakdown, groove, build up, groove, done. You know, it's just know that this is a thing you can do, especially if you're new, and it's gonna be fine. But yeah, I'll just let the track play out. Again, I know this one was so short. It might be a while before I put out another breakdown. We'll see. I'm going to be putting out some other types of content. I have a bunch of samples dropping tomorrow. That's Tuesday, I think July 20th and 2021. And yeah, follow me on Patreon if you want to get future samples ahead of time. The people who are subscribed have had these samples, or have at least been able to get these samples for a bit now. They're really nice. I recorded them from Detroit, from Austin, from Toledo. Lots of ambience, lots of good stuff. And if you want track feedback, you can follow me on Patreon. You can do that once a month. I also teach private lessons. But yeah, let this track play out. Thank you so much. Subscribe, tell a friend, and until next time.